I'm Alan R. Stevenson. I was a best-selling author of the book I Had to Die to Learn How to Live. These are the life lessons that I learned from my near-death experience. And this whole channel is dedicated to bringing and teaching those lessons that every NDEer experiences. We've all changed. Our lives have all changed from our experience. All the ones that I know, all the ones I've talked to, spent time with, uh, they all say the same thing, that their lives were drastically changed. They learned more about what life is really, truly, and honestly about. So today, what I want to talk about is I survived death. These are the 5 life-changing lessons that I learned from my NDE. The first one, once I grasped the hold of kind of what was going on after I had, in essence, died, was that life was far grander uh, than I had ever perceived before that point. The second biggest life changing event and things that I've incorporated in my life is our connection to one another presented a much more humanistic approach to each individual that I came across, that I met. I was already prior to my NDE, I was a social butterfly, but that had nothing to do with what was real, what was true. You know, as infants, we're sponges. We learn, we take in, we observe, we soak up more, and slowly become the person that we become. But that NDE, that day of that near death experience, changed me drastically. To understand you didn't need to be the social butterfly, but to listen an awful lot more than I did any talking. Once you listen, your soul actually activates in a response to what's being said. And the correct path of response is much better, way, way better, way, way better. Because I learned to listen. I really, really learned to listen to other people from that humanistic approach. And it was natural, right? It's not like I forced it. It's not like I had to, sit on my hands or put duct tape on my mouth or anything. It was just a natural process right after the NDE. It became very, very much more humanistic. And that's a word that I use constantly. And you'll hear it throughout the videos, informative videos on this channel. So, in the third life changing lesson that I learned was and this kind of blends right in from the second one, is that by being more humanistic, and I had also learned during my identification process about the whole factor of love. And actually, I have a pretty good quote, and if I can find it, I'll put it up here somewhere. Um, the number 4 big change I made in my life from lessons I learned from my NDE was how life itself is actually assembled like a puzzle and the components of it. So if you think about a puzzle as a picture and you have to put those pieces together, what I learned was that each piece of the puzzle has its own picture on it. And that actually just popped into my mind. So I'm going to mention it, is that we've seen those pictures. I hope you've seen them, where they're actually made of little photographs. And then they sculpt out a totally different picture, comprised of all these little pictures. So life is a lot like that, in that the puzzle of life has a picture on it. Each individual piece has its own picture. and you still have to find out how they connect together. That's quite important. It's part about what this channel is about, is that we'll be talking more about things like that to help you people out there, help you help you learn what life is truly and honestly all about. And the fifth life-changing lesson that I learned was that we don't die. You don't die. Think of it this way. When your car is done, you've put enough money into it, you've put enough of this and that into it, and it's just finished. It goes to the wreckers. You, the driver, you go out and you get another car and you continue to animate that vehicle and exist within, you know, physical reality, the parameters of the road, so to speak. So the fifth one is that we just don't die. Those are the 5 life-changing lessons that I learned from my near-death experience that helped me become what I am today. A changed individual that has made my life completely different than the direction it was heading in prior to my near-death experience. So thank you all for being here, and take care of yourselves and each other.